we are here with some of the faculty from the Sacred Music Symposium that happened in June of 2022. And we are so grateful to the participants who have written in and talked to us about what they thought about the symposium and what an experience it was for them and so forth. And we thought it might be appropriate, although all the faculty was not able to be here at this time because, you know, choirs are starting up and everything's getting busy again. Today is actually August 17th. But we thought it might be appropriate to give a few reflections about this conference. And we thought that Mr. Weaver, since this was the first time he attended a symposium, we were blessed to have him as part of our faculty this year. And so we thought maybe if you could start by saying what you thought of it and if anyone talked to you about anything important or special, and if that'd be wonderful. Oh, you're in Germany, by the way. You're coming to us from Germany.
Yes, I'm joining from Germany. So it's rather later in the day for me than it is for the rest of you, but happy to join in. So first off, I should just say thank you to you, Jeff, for inviting me to take part in the symposium this year. When we were initially discussing it, I saw my role primarily as coming to talk about one of my great passions in life, which is the theory of rhythm as it pertains to plain chant. And you and I delivered somewhat oppositional lectures on the topic during the symposium, and it was a real treat for me to be with in a room full of people who understood why the topic was important, namely that plain chant is the music most suited to the Roman Rite, which is something we all care deeply about. And there was such an energy in the room among the participants with just real fervor for plain chant and everything that it can bring, the spiritual fruits that it can bring when it's done thoughtfully and prayerfully. And it was a real treat. I thought my initial impression of the week was that the schedule was just brutal and punishing, and it's kind of all day with no break talking about chant and polyphony. And I was shocked to get there and realize that we all made it through because of that kind of prayerful fervor that I found among all the participants and all the faculty. We all realize how important this is. And for people from all different situations, parish musicians, cathedral musicians, people who are just starting scholas, people who work in a place with not such great church music who want to improve it in some way, all of those people sort of gathered in the place and all working towards the goal of improving our knowledge, understanding of sacred music, and deepening our kind of prayerful connection to it. And I found that very powerful. And I think we all got through what seems initially like a punishing schedule. I thought the highlight of the week for me, and the thing that is probably best about the symposium, would be the conducting masterclass portion, where people who've maybe never had much experience conducting, or they've just done it on an ad hoc basis in a parish, they were able to stand up in front of a choir of 40 or 50 people and try to lead them in a piece of music and then get direction about that. I thought that was very powerful, and I saw people improve very quickly. And I think everyone who took part in that was able to take something away from the week to improve what they're doing in their own situation, whatever that may be. And so I thought it was a wonderful week. I had a great time, and I loved meeting you all there. It was just really spectacular.
Well, thank you for that. And we were very glad to have you. We had corresponded, I think, through email, and then it was the first time I met you. I can't speak for the rest of the faculty, but yeah, it was really, really, really great to meet you. And the people really enjoyed your passion for music and all that. And I enjoyed meeting your wife as well. Now, Alfred, would you like to go next?
Sure. Again, as Charles said, thanks, Jeff, for doing this. We all know what a huge task this is to put this together, and it's daunting. I certainly couldn't mount something like this myself. So I don't know how you do it, but you do it. It's interesting because now I'm following Charles, and this was his first symposium. I think probably of all of us here and right now, I've been to the greatest number of the symposiums besides you, I think, Jeff. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of a different perspective. So, you know, it's always the kind of thing where you go into these things as a faculty member, sort of knowing what to expect, but then on the other hand, just waiting to find out what's really going to happen. and then if, you know, as we go through the week teaching, I always wonder as each day ends, well, is what we're doing having any impact, you know? Is this just going through as another day? Well, tomorrow's Wednesday and tomorrow's Thursday, and we criticize ourselves, probably I do as faculty members, and think, oh, well, I didn't do a very good job today, I didn't bring enough energy or whatever. And then, you know, you start the day and these people are just so enthusiastic about it, and they just want to soak in everything. And you realize, you know, kind of like every word I say, they're going to write down or take home with them. It's a little bit scary, but to read the testimonials that have been pouring in, you know, is so gratifying and so humbling. And to think that the impact that this symposium has on people's lives, and it's not just the people that were at the symposium, but then they bring this home to their, you know, 12 or 15 or 30 choir members and their pastors and all of these people, and then the people in the congregations and in the pews who are listening to what they are bringing back with them. It's an incredibly important week. It's incredibly important for the thing that we all love, which is sacred music. And I'm just really honored to be a part of it. Glad we can that I can have a small impact in these conferences that we have every year. And it's great to work with all of these people sitting on this together with us here now. I was just so excited to hear the dueling lectures about rhythm and chant, and it was really fantastic. You both, Charles and Jeff, did a fantastic job, and I personally learned a lot. I learned so much from both of you guys, and so thanks for that. And I as a participant in that way have taken some of that home as well. And it's always great to work with Richard and Kevin and all the people that are here. But yeah, I just think, Jeff, it's a wonderful and important thing that happens every year. And I'm just so grateful for the people that come to this. You know, they want to keep coming back, and they want to bring more people with them. And so it's a fabulous thing. It's really great.
I have a difficult time traveling. Can you imagine? You know, we had people from New Zealand and the Singapore and all these. What a trip that must be. But it's so great to read that they were, you know, they loved every minute and all that. I don't want to interrupt, but is there someone else entering?
Billy? Me, Charlotte.
Oh, hi, Charlotte.
Hi.
So we're actually recording right now, just so you know. The meeting is being recorded. I don't know whether you're able to show your face on the video, but
I'll try.
yeah. So I just want to let you know this is being recorded, and we're going to share it on the blog.
Okay.
Richard, do you want to go next? Alfred, thank you so much for that, by the way.
Yeah, I
Thank
would
you so
echo.
much for coming and leading us as you did.
I would
Richard?
certainly echo what Alfred and
Well,
Charles
first, Richard,
said.
first of all, they wanted to know whether that's an actual background or if it's real.
Here's your answer.
So it's a background.
It's background. It's a digital background. So yeah, actually, I've got great Wi-Fi here in the choir loft, so it works out in all kinds of ways. I just want to echo what you guys have said. This was a pleasure for me and an honor for me. That was my second symposium. I sort of bookending the pandemic, 2019, and then this year. And I think one of the big deals was it was so energizing to see how many people wanted to come to this. There have been other events, choral events that have been struggling. Cora Cantores has been up and down, been struggling here and there. Some very well, some have been canceled. There were other choir camps and events that have been canceled, and I think part of it speaks to the power of chant and polyphony. There's a deep hunger for it, especially after pandemic. I was honored, and I always learned so much from all of the other faculty. I felt I was a student as well. I made sure I didn't miss any of Dr. Calabrese's classes because I'm taking notes. The lectures were astonishingly great. I learned so much. I also want to point out what Billy was doing behind the scenes was incredible. He was everywhere all the time. He was in like 5 different places at once. And he was an organist and a composer. His composition, his Agnus Dei, still sticks in my mind. I just really learned so much from the faculty, but everyone who was there, I'm still been in touch with a few people. I get a few emails here and there, but I was overwhelmed at the end of it. I think the same thing with Dr. Calabrese said. You kind of question yourself. You're kind of hard on myself and say, "Oh, that rehearsal, I could have done better in that rehearsal, or maybe I should do this better." And and then at the very end, get better sense from everyone. Some of the deep impact that they're having, and it's mutual. I'm grateful to everyone who shows up. I'm in debt to all of you who were there. I'm in debt to everyone else who's there. And I try to remind my own choir folks, anyone who's singing to me, you just don't know how you impact people. You will impact people through your work. As you say, sometimes you feel that your work's in vain, but it's not. And I'm grateful to everyone. Sometimes you get a reminder that you will have deep impact on people. You don't know what burdens people have when they walk into your doors at Mass, and it may be 1 or 2 pieces or something that you've done, even if you're self-critical and think you could have done better. It's that deep love and passion for the liturgy, regardless of the form, Novus Ordo or extraordinary form. It was nice to have that mix too. I appreciated a lot of the questions and a lot of topics that came up, whether resolved or not. But I'm grateful to be part of it. I'm grateful to the faculty. I'm grateful to everyone who was there, equally so. So I could go on for a while, but I'll keep it. I'll leave it at that.
We want to save some for next year. We should save it up.
Yeah.
Well, good. I think we might be having, is Charlotte still there? We might be having technical difficulties.
I joined it a different way, so you're just going to get my voice.
That's okay.
I'm not going to do it over again.
Would you like to go? Would you like to go next, Charlotte?
Sure. I mean, I just have to. So I just heard Richard talk, and I agree with him on everything. I think the feeling when I got there was just this wide open, teach me feeling. Everybody wanted to take in as much as they could. I felt the same way. I mean, their energy fed my energy. It just felt like you couldn't get to enough of the stuff, and it was good to share my experience. It's a little different from some of the other choir directors, because my groups have been smaller, and I've come through a different route, sort of. We don't do the Latin Mass as much, but we do. I've had to work through the Novus Ordo with one publishing company being the dominant force. And I've been able to learn about all the other sources I can have. And so I come back to this and I say, look, I tried this and it worked great. And, you could do it even with a tiny choir. You can do this and start to inspire your congregation. So I really did learn a lot from this. The chant debates, your Bach lessons, the rehearsals, everything was really inspiring. And the Vespers, to do that every day, it's not something you do every day. It's not something I do every day. And that really brought me to a place where I want to bring that to the Basilica. And we actually did that on Sunday. We had very simple ones, the Mundelein Psalter, but we did that at 4 o'clock. And then we went to another church and did it at 7. And the response is just beautiful from the choir and the congregation. So I love having this symposium. I love being a part of it. I got a couple of really beautiful pieces of music from it, Kevin's piece, and somebody else handed me something during the read-throughs, that just a Marian piece on a text I'd never heard before, and it was amazing. So yeah, I have to echo the gratefulness and the inspiration and the energy I got from it. And I'm sorry I had to miss the Mass, but the 4 days I had there was fantastic.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah, one of the things we worried about was whether we could all fit. And so we divided the choirs because so many people wanted to come and we could only accept so many. And I mentioned to one of the people just offhandedly that I was having nightmares that, everyone would get in the loft and the loft would collapse. And I noticed that somebody in one of the testimonials brought that up. But Charlotte, this was not planned, but I know we had a lot of people getting sick towards the end of the week, and it ended up so we could fit everybody in, just barely squeeze everybody in the loft, but that was not planned. So
yeah.
Mr. Fritz.
Well, thank you for that.
Mr. Fritz, assuming your loft is still functioning and alive.
Still there. Yeah.
You want to go ahead next?
Sure. So it was amazing to have the symposium at our parish. We're St. John the Baptist in Costa Mesa, where I'm the music director. And it was a great week. It was more quiet than the parish is used to for all the other ministries because our priests were on retreat. But having the symposium there, all the musicians from around the country and around the world, really was few of the musicians from our parish that did join and were able to go they got a booster shot of just a lot of just inspiration and enthusiasm to continue singing in our choirs. And we're still seeing a lot of blessings at our parish just from having so many devout Catholics at the conference. I think that was something that impressed me the most. I was kind of running around a lot, as Richard mentioned, turning on air conditioning and making sure doors were unlocked. But and I've run conferences before, so I know exactly that's my job. So but the organ class I had on switching from piano to organ, all the students, all the attendees that were there, they were just they absorbed everything. And I echo Alfred's comment that they literally were writing everything I was saying down. And this is stuff I say all the time to my students. And I just seeing that kind of gives me the perspective that, there are parishes out there, there are musicians out there that are hungry for this kind of music, for polyphony, for chant, for good Catholic music that is transcendent in the liturgy. And the attendees themselves really edified me because they were all very prayerful. Everyone was. Every so often, a couple of the staff would say, make sure you let them know that they're in the church. But I never had to say anything because everyone just walked into the church. The commentary, everyone's discussions were very respectful. things didn't get out of the hand. And a few of the parishioners that would come to the Vespers each night, they commented to me, one of them grabbed me by the arm afterwards and said, "That was heaven on earth. When are they coming back?" And I said, "Next year." So it was just a beautiful week. The music was absolutely gorgeous. I'm very humbled that one of my works was chosen to be part of it. But I thank you, Jeff, for including that. And I know that our music program here in Orange County is just going to be amazing this year. All of the attendees that I had in my choirs we had a meeting and we discussed all the things we're going to be doing this year. So I'm sure you've had that, and you know, others have experienced that in their parishes. So it was just, you know, from the presentations, and I was very interested in all of them, even though I was in and then out. I got the main points, I think. Yeah, that's my takeaway.
Well, I know Andrea couldn't be here, Billy, today because, you know, she had some obligations and that she needed to take care of. But just know that we are so grateful for you letting us be there for the symposium. I mean, you have done a wonderful thing, and we cannot repay you for what you did. So please know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited for next year. I'm already putting it on the schedule. So, yeah.
And Charlotte, you hosted it a couple years back, correct?
Right, at St. Therese in Alhambra. We did it. I think we did it twice, right? 2017, 2018, or 20. Yeah, because then you had it at
so you know what Billy was going through.
Yeah, I was like running around like, where's the toilet paper?
Yeah, you did have that.
Well, I know it's very late where Mr. Weaver is in Germany, so we should probably wrap it up. I just was going to say one thing. With regard to private revelation, of course, the church does not, private revelation is not an article of faith. No Catholic is obliged to accept private revelation. But when you talk about St. John Vianney, we have stories of him. Sometimes when he was awake almost all the time. He heard confessions for like 18 hours a day. It was very cold in his confessional. But he almost never slept, and he lived on, you know, like 3 or 4 potatoes. He would cook three or four potatoes at the beginning of each week, and he would live on those all week. But sometimes his prayers early in the morning in the church were overheard by others. And, you know, one of the things that he loved so much was to offer sacrifice for the souls in purgatory. He would scourge himself. He would wear hair shirts, which are very uncomfortable, you know, that people would wear. And he would pray, and he would fast, and he would do all these different things. And the story that we have, he was overheard praying at one time, and it was as if a heavenly voice or an angel was speaking to him and asking him if he was ready to come to heaven. And his response, I think it may have been at Mass, his response was something to the effect of, you know, Lord, surely it is heaven enough to be here on earth and to suffer for the souls in purgatory. And to me, I remember when you were conducting, Dr. Calabrese, the Sanctus by Morales. And of course, I've listened to that piece for 25 years. It's an amazing piece that I can't listen to enough. It's amazing, absolutely incredible. But, you know, hearing it on a CD is one thing, and hearing it in real life is another. And it struck me as just such a holy piece of music. And it reminded me of that story of St. John Vianney, because we are so blessed and privileged to be able to serve God by singing and conducting this music. So, and I know it's hard because of the crosses that we do have, and we ask the grace from God, not only to thank God for the blessings that we have, but also to thank God for the crosses that we have. And as choir directors, I know that we have an abundant source of crosses. But anyway, I was reminded of that story because what a blessing it is to be able to serve God and to sing such wonderful music. So anyway, that's all I have to say. And of course, we're so grateful to everyone who came. I know some of you said this already, but it's so amazing to see the dedication of people who fly 2,000 miles, you know, to come and everything. So I really appreciate everything you guys did. And on behalf of Andrea, you know, we are so pleased. One more thing. It's interesting. I never realized it, but you know, the fact that you all get along so well and respect each other so much actually makes a huge difference. Like, you know, when you're planning stuff, because everybody sits back in a conference and say, oh, I can plan that. You know, you just get the professors and get the location, you get the music. I mean, you know, it's so like everyone feels like they could do it or whatever. But, you know, when you're getting the faculty, you want the best in this, you want the best in that, the best conductor, the best organist, the best in chant, the best in all these different things. And you choose them, you know, based on excellence. But it's funny. The fact that you all respect each other and love each other actually is very important too. And that's not something that we necessarily planned. Like, you know, let's get people who are, you know, really like each other and get along personally. But man, you're right. When we're there for 12 hours a day for a week, it makes a huge difference. You know, there's no, you know, the rivalries and things that can pop up and stuff makes a huge difference. Plus, we change everything at the last minute, which I know you guys love. We're like, okay, you know, those 10 pieces that we said you were going to conduct. Okay, yeah, forget about those. We're going to do different ones. So I think we should probably wrap it up. We said our prayer before we started the meeting, and we didn't record the prayer, but I can put it online so people can read it. And thanks so much. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Bye.